Yo, what's going on, guys? I appreciate you for hopping on. We're recording now. Today's going to be a very in-detailed session. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple trade ideas that actually I took within the past 48 hours. Using this strategy, I'm literally up 222 pips right now. And I want to say about 24 hours. Personally, I like waking up in the morning. I like trading during New York session. I'm up around 6 a.m. Mountain Standard, just an hour and a half before New York session opens, get my day ready, get my DMO through, meditate, whatever I need to do, and we get the day started. So within this strategy, guys, I want you guys to understand that this is a momentum catching strategy. Now, if you guys are taking notes, which I would highly recommend, a momentum catching strategy. What this is that we're riding the wave. Essentially, we're riding the wave to six figures, same way. So when you see the markets, they go up and down. When you see that impulse up, we enter either at the beginning, towards the middle, or right before the end. So we're catching that wave. So 9 times out of the 10, we're barely facing any drawdown, because as soon as we enter, what, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10, 15 minutes most, we're in profit, depending on the momentum that it's caused by it. So it's a momentum catching strategy. Now, where did I learn this? Well, let me actually go ahead and type this in the chat. And this is the video that I got all the valuable information from. I actually typed it in the chat. I would really recommend pressing it, like the video so that you guys can have it saved in the background and just watch a little bit so it's in the recorded. I watched this video and I watched it multiple times. Don't get it twisted. This is not a strategy where you watch one time and you're gonna understand it. Like, just like any strategy, you need to watch it, take notes, apply it, practice, win-loss ratio, take notes again. See what we're doing wrong, see what we could do better, improve. We're always growing, you feel me? So within this, nice, we're sitting at 53 people. Within this, I watched this video multiple times. There was some information that I did not read the first time, and I was like, hey, I need to really start applying this. As soon as I started applying it, I was like, yo, win, dub, 20 pips, 30 pips, 40 pips, whatever the case might be. I was like, yo, it's lit. Now, right here, let me actually go ahead and show you guys. Let me share my screen so that you guys can see it. I got you guys. Now, what I'm actually also going to do is I'm going to send the link to my YouTube channel, because in my YouTube channel, I actually broke down the information in a 2-part series, whether it was the indicator or the confirmations, because there's 2 parts. There's the indicator, setting up the indicators, and then actually having the list of confirmations, whether it's buying or selling. Now, let me actually get my YouTube channel right here, just so you guys can have it. It's gonna be right there. It's not right there. Videos. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this first video real quick, and then I'll send the link to this video, and then you'll have my YouTube channel right there, guys. Why isn't it giving me the link? One second, guys. Technical difficulties. Library. Copy link. Awesome. Right there. Let me just make sure it opens. All right, cool. We're set. Cool. So, guys, let's go ahead and hop inside this trading. So you do need to be active. I'm not sure if you guys are active right now, but we should all be paying for our membership, because, yo, okay, cool. I mean, you sent the link. I might ask for it later just to see who's paying attention. Now, we should all be active. We should all be paying our monthly subscription. I've literally been on my last dollar, and what? I still paid my membership because I knew in the future it was going to benefit me. It was going to help me. As long as I keep learning, keep driving, keep applying myself, I was going to go. That's the biggest thing when it comes down into this whole mindset. You have to do it no matter what. If you want to get it done, you need to get it done. The biggest thing that kept me going, if you guys are ever dealing with motivation, is to, let me actually do this. Spotlight video, cool. The biggest thing to understand is everyone has a why in this business. Now, it's not when you're going to get it done. It's not if you get it done, but like, you need to get it done. Why? Because your why, your mom, your dad, yourself, your brother, everyone has a time limit. One day, something's going to happen and they may no longer be on this earth. So understanding that your why has a time limit should only give you nothing but motivation to really just hop on course. Now, let me actually go and start sharing my screen and really diving deep into this lesson. Real quick, throw some 111s in the chat if you are completely new to the Sensei strategy and really don't know too much about it. Just so I can see, get a little course. on his far. So we got some people in here. Okay, cool. Now, guys, I would really recommend. I'm not so much going to go into the detail as far as every single indicator and what the settings they need to be on, because that's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, and that's 10 to 15 minutes that you guys may not even be paying attention to where the case might be. So I would really just plug into that video. Today, I'm going to go over a couple of trades as far as that were profitable, as some trades that were awesome, amazing, perfect. And I'm going to go over some kind of like a little bit of a market outlook as well. Now, let me go ahead and log into my harmonic scanner right here. If you guys are not drinking water, I would recommend drinking some water. Stay hydrated, guys. Very, very important. Now, this is a pro tip right here, because it's not covered in the first video, but in my video it is. When you load up all your indicators, make sure you're consecutively pressing that save button, because if you don't save your harmonic and it refreshes, all the things that you did previously will be erased. So to load up, every time you log into harmonic scanner, press the little drop down arrow, load chart layout. Now I have Sensei strategy right here. As soon as I press it, I have my chart. Now, what's super cool that I really didn't know within the past, like I learned this literally today, is that you can change the background of your harmonics. And I thought that was really cool, because I don't really like seeing too much white. And I think this blue tone is a very nice tone to me. So, you know, let me know if you guys didn't even know that, because I didn't even know that. I'm always learning. I'm always progressing. Now, as soon as you have your indicators set up, your chart is going to look something or exactly similar to mine. You have these different kinds of indicators. The indicators are laid over on top of each other, and we're really going to break down into the confirmations. Now, let me actually go ahead and pull up a trade that I took this morning. Let me make sure I know which one it was. Right here, if I'm not mistaken, it was it USD? It was AUD CAD. AUD CAD. Now, within this, some people may have questions as far as brokers. Now, the broker does not really matter, because I have Hugo's Way on my phone. Now, within Hugo's Way, it's just a broker that I used to trade. Now, within the harmonics, every broker, they have different coordinates. They have different settings. They have different everything. The information that's laid out and printed is different. So the harmonics is very specific as to the pattern that it draws. So it really is kind of specific about it. Now, personally, educator Manny Quinones, Chairman 50, he taught me that FX Choice and HOT Forex are the two best brokers to really plug into, because not only do they have a lot of options to go through, but they have a higher win rate as to the harmonics that actually play out all the way to TP3. So I was like, yo, that's awesome. If educator Manny if Manny Quinones literally told me the sauce, I'm going to apply it. So me personally, I like to stick and stay to FX Choice, because I don't know, I'm a little lazy when it comes to like trading. I want to make sure that I get the easiest way possible, so I don't have to put too much effort into a lot of things I do and just play out the trades. Now, I use FX Choice, which is right here. I'm actually going to go ahead and press on it. So at the top, we have different time frames. We have 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. Now, this strategy, it works best on the 1 hour time frame. Personally, I like to use the 30-minute time frame, and I've gotten really good, consistent, profitable trades with it. The only thing and the only time you'll lose within the Sensei strategy, as so far as my knowledge, is when there is news or when your confirmations are just not lined up. Simple as that. There's news, there's not enough momentum, that's another one, or the confirmations are just not lined up. So I would really recommend taking notes over and over and literally having a simple index card right in front of you saying buy confirmations, list 1 through 4, sell confirmations, list 1 through 4, and having it. I have them at my house. I'm actually not at my house right now, so I can't actually show you an example, but that's how I have it. In my setup in my room, I have my confirmations index card, both of them, and I have little tips and tricks. Now, this is the Sensei strategy. So I'm going to go over the AUD CAD trade that we took earlier today. Now, let me actually go ahead and take this out right here. Let me go ahead and refresh so that you guys can see the harmonic scanner. Is everyone good so far? Throw some 7s in the chat. I know we got 65 people deep. I want to make sure that everyone's listening. Throw some 7s in the chat. Awesome. Cool. Let me see. I'm actually curious. This is off topic, and you'll get to know that about me. But who has their cameras on? Shout out to Bill. Bill E. Owns. The only man. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're laughing. I kind of messed up there. Ons. My fault, bro. We got Tisa. I'm sorry. I'm very bad with pronunciation. I think we're good. All right. Awesome. Dominique. Chantal. Breed. Juan. Zakar, my boy, of course, appreciate you for actually letting me do this. You guys don't know if you guys are from Atlanta or under Zakar's team. He literally reached out to me and we got this organized and here we are now. So I appreciate you, bro. I've learned a lot from you personally. Cool. Now, let me actually go ahead and turn down my music real quick just so you guys can hear me a little bit better. Now, within this trade right here, so if we see right here on AUD-CAD, the 30-minute time frame using FX choice, solely focusing on the chart itself, we have the harmonics. So if you're new to harmonics, it simply moves in 4 different ways. We have an X point, we have A, which is up here, then down to B, C, and then D. Now, if you're very new to harmonics, this is a really cool trick, really cool tip and trick that I found out as far as learning whether it's a buy or a sell harmonic. So we're only going to focus on the C point and the D point. So if D point is below C point, then that equals out for a sell. If D is above C, that equals out for a buy. Very, very simple as far as just understanding whether you're looking at your buy confirmations or your sell confirmations. Now, right here, we have the D point, which is below the C. Obviously, this trade already hit all 3 take profits, and I'm going to show you our confirmations when it lined up. So kind of zooming in right here, as far as looking at our first confirmation, we're going to be focusing on our red EMA, which is this little red line that's kind of following the candlesticks at a distance. And then we have the blue EMA or the turquoise EMA, which is directly on the candlesticks itself. Let me see if you guys can see that real quick. Let me, settings. Cool. So you guys see that little turquoise line right there? See if I can make it a little bit thicker just so you guys can see it. It's all the way. Cool. So that's going to be our first part. We're focusing on those 2 lines and directly those 2 lines themselves. Now for our buy confirmation. So we have 2 sets of confirmations. Let me actually go ahead and turn off my Telegram. So we have 2 sets of confirmations. We have our buys. So our buy confirmation, essentially all we're looking for is turquoise line to cross above the red line. Really as simple as that. And then for the sell confirmations, it's reverse. We want the turquoise line to cross below the red line. Now, if we kind of focus, have our little focus point in this general area, move this to the back so you guys can see it a little bit better. Now we can see the turquoise line and the red line. Now, where does that cross take happen? Because remember guys, we're looking for that buy. We're looking for the buy confirmations because this is a buy harmonic. We're looking for the turquoise line to cross above the red line. So where does that happen? Well, in order to confirm this indication, as far to indicate this confirmation, I had it backwards, we're going to draw a simple blue vertical line. So you guys don't know, right here on the left side, we can go ahead and grab this little drop down arrow vertical line, come right here, and where do we end up seeing that cross? Well, we see that cross happen right around here. So if we kind of focus a little bit more, that cross is like right there. Now, as far as the confirmation, depending on the cross, because you can see a cross maybe before or after the candle or in between both of the candles. Now, this cross happened right here. The candle after the cross equals our confirmation. Let me repeat that. This is very, very important to understand. Candle after cross equals confirmation. Right there. Very, very important. This applies to all the indicators. Let me check the chat box real quick. Pay attention. Hey, let's yeah, okay, cool. So remember, the candle after the cross equals a confirmation. So the cross happened right here where my cursor is. The candle after the cross is our confirmation. So that's where it's going to line up right there. Hey buddy, do not bother me. Cool. So that's our first confirmation that we need right there. Now we're reading our confirmations from top to bottom. Just like we're reading a book from left to right, our confirmations are going from top to bottom. So our first confirmation was the cross to the EMAs, which our little note right here that I have for you guys is for the buys, the turquoise line to cross above the red line. But always remember, guys, the candle after the cross equals our confirmation. It is the setting in stone. It's like, hey, it's up there. It's no going back, essentially. Now for sells, it's the opposite. The turquoise line is to cross below the red line. And I'll show you an example of that. Now, the next indicator, which is going to be 3 indicators on top of each other, the RSI, the momentum indicator, and the money flow indicator. Essentially, these are all different directions as far as who has more territory, the buyers or the sellers. The way I see it in a really good perspective to put inside this is a tug of war match. You have a tug of war match between the buyers and the sellers. Who has more dominance? Who has more strength? Who can pull the furthest and essentially move the market up or down? Make sense? Cool. See? Awesome. So our next indicator is RSI, momentum money flow indicator, which is this green line, this red line, and this kind of little fuchsia pink line right here. So just to make it easier for you guys, I'm going to actually double press on it just so you guys can see it, make it zoomed in a little bit more. Now the area we want to focus on is where our first confirmation lined up. Now, as far as the confirmations, you roughly want to see them line up sequentially, which means first one at the top, then the next one should line up, then the third one should line up, then the fourth one should line up, literally from top to bottom. Now, RSI, momentum money flow indicator, which is the second box that you see right here, we're looking for a cross. Now, what kind of cross are we looking for? Just to understand and give you a background, there's 2 sides to this indicator right here. You have the buyer side or the buyer's territory. And then on the bottom side, the bottom portion, you have the seller's territory. Or I'll just put side just to make it even. Cool. So you have the buyer side and you have the seller side. Essentially, when all 3 of these indicators are on the top side, the upper portion, it's buyers, buying confirmations. When they're on the lower portion of it, it's seller's confirmation. So what we're looking for is a clear cross. So make sure you guys write that down in your notes. You're looking for a clear cross to one or the other side, either the buyer side if you have a buy harmonic scanner, or the seller side if you have a sell scanner. Now, where does that cross take place? Let me go and actually grab my vertical line right here. Now, the area we're focusing on is right around this area. Probably make it easier like this. Now, if we notice where my blue vertical line is, you see the only indicator is the red one right here, but the green and the fuchsia one are still below, so that doesn't count. Next one, okay, right here we have the pink and the red, the green, they're all above. Now, if we take a closer look right here, taking into consideration the cross just happened right in this area. Now, sometimes you might have it to where, let me see if I can show you an example right here. Like this. So right here, say we were going in the downwards direction. Say we were looking for those cells right here. Now, as far as where my blue vertical line is, notice how the fuchsia, it's on the bottom. The red and the green are at the top. And then the next 30 minutes over, because it's literally just snapping to the candle that's on the top side, now all the indicators are at the bottom. So the cross happened in between both of the time frames. So remember, the candle after the cross is our confirmation. The cross happened in the middle, the candle next open, confirmation set. That is the exact same thing that's happening right here. So the area that we're focusing on is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, right around this area. So kind of zooming in, we notice how the cross kind of happens in between both of these candles. Now, if you want to be safe, take it to the next candle. Now, if you look at where this blue vertical line is, it's all the way on the buyer's side. Check the chat box real quick. Someone had raised their hand. Okay, I think we're good. Cool. Now, drop some 7s in the chat real quick if that makes sense, as far as just looking for who has more territory and understanding who is either on the top side or the bottom side as far as the indicators. Awesome. Cool.
Hey, yo, bro.
What's going on, bro?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, what do you mean exactly candles after cross equals confirmation?
Got you, bro. Now, go ahead and do this. I'll answer your question. So right here, if we focus on these candles right here, notice how my cursor, you see that vertical line right there? See how it snaps, it moves over. Now my mouse is in the middle, but as soon as I get more, it snaps over. And you see that vertical line all throughout the entire harmonics. So each candle can either be a confirmation or a new harmonic, and I'll discuss that right now. But type in the chat, bro. Let me know if that made sense for you. Cool. Now, essentially, you're just, every time you move, like this blue vertical line, you see how it skips over? Because it's attaching itself to the candle on the actual chart itself. So that's what I mean the candle after the cross, which is basically the next little side step over. So this cross right here, we see how buyers have more territory because all the indicators on the upside. Cool. That is our second confirmation right there. First confirmation, just to cover over, was the EMA. We're looking for that turquoise line to cross above the red line, which is the two EMAs, the exponential moving averages. And then we have the RSI momentum money flow indicator. We're just looking for all of those three to be on one side or the other, depending on our harmonic. So for buys, we want it to be on the upper portion. For sells, we want it to be on the seller's portion, which is the bottom side. Now, the next confirmation that we have is going to be the DMI, which is the directional movement indicator. Essentially, it's telling you how much pull does one side have over the other. Basically like that tug of war match. That's the easiest way I pictured it in my head, to be honest. I used to come up with different analogies, but tug of war is honestly one of the easiest ways. Now, DMI, just to kind of focus, remember how we want to focus on this range right here. Let me actually annotate. So because our first confirmation lined up right here, we want all of our confirmations to line up in that same area consecutively, or just roughly in that same area, depending on like if there's already been that confirmation or it just kind of played out through time. Now, clear this, back to my mouse. Now, as far as the DMI, the directional movement indicator, this is a two-part confirmation. Super simple. I wouldn't even say it's a two-part. I'd say it's 0.5 one and then 0.5 the other, one confirmation. Now, within this DMI, we're focusing on the same general area as far as where our first confirmation lined up with the EMAs. Now, right here, what we're going to be looking at, let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. Do this. Cool. Now, this is a two-part. So for buys, you need blue over red. And then for sells, you need the opposite, red over blue. Now, that's the first part. Now, the second part is you're going to need the ADX line, which I'll explain right now. The ADX line must be greater than 20. I'll explain that. So if I press on the settings for this indicator, we see DI positive, which is blue, DI negative, which is red. And then the ADX line is this black line right here, which is the black line that we see going up and down. Kind of looks like a little heartbeat, like if you're at the hospital. I'm not sure what those are called. Now, we need blue over red. Now, let's focus on this general area where we're looking at, which is going to be around this area right here, just to kind of highlight it. Now, where is it that blue is over red? Now, let me actually go ahead and grab a vertical line right here. Let me place it right here. Now, if we focus on the transition from the red to the blue, notice how it's at that cross right there. Now, we need blue to be over red. So remember what I said, guys. The candle after the cross equals our confirmation. So we're simply just going to move our blue vertical line to the next candle, just moving it one space over. And notice how right there, blue is over red at a pretty good portion. So we have some distance in between each other. That's awesome. Now we need ADX line to be over 20, the value of 20. So the way you determine that is just the way we got the vertical line. We grab a horizontal line right here, simply place it anywhere. I'll make it a little bit thicker just so you guys can see it. Go to settings, coordinates, and we want to make the price at 20. Now we need that black line to be above 20 and we need blue to be above red. Well, where our blue vertical line is right now, is it above it? Yes. So you guys see that? Drop some sevens in the chat if you guys see that. You guys see both of the confirmations playing out right after each other. Awesome. Excuse me. So that is our third confirmation. Now all we need is one confirmation. Now within this, we see that cross happen. Now our EMA was up here, which means essentially we want our confirmation to all line up in the same place. So if you guys notice that, I just moved it. Now the reason I moved it is because this was a confirmation yes, but our first confirmation was not a yes. So we need to make sure it's in the same time frame as far as it being sequentially. That's why you don't want multiple indicators. One happened 3 hours ago, one happened right now, one hasn't happened yet. You want them to be in the same area, lining up one after another so that then we can take this trade. Check the chat box real quick. Cool. Now, first indicator, just to kind of retrack, we needed blue over red, which is the blue EMA, the turquoise EMA, to go over red. That's a check. That's where our blue vertical line is. Then we have buyers versus sellers inside the RSI, momentum, and the money flow indicator. All of the indicators are on the upside. That's a check. Well, I had a little Irish accent there. I don't know if you guys caught that. That was cool. That's a moment for the recording. Now, that was funny. Cool. So next confirmation right here is going to be the buys, blue over red, and the ADX line must be above 20. So we want them to all happen one after another. Now, right here, we notice how the second box right here, confirmation, third confirmation should line up exactly right there or afterwards. Now, right here, where my blue vertical line is, blue is still above red, and the ADX line is still above 20. So that still lines up. That's good for us. You guys picked that up. Now, the last confirmation, which is really all we need left in order to really take this trade right here. Now, we're looking at our MACDs. We have two MACDs. Now, to break this down in the most simplistic way possible, if buys only, and I say only, focus on green, going green above median. So if buys only focus on green going above median, don't ignore red. It doesn't matter. We just want green. Green is buys. Red, if I'm gonna test you guys. If green is buys, what is red? Type it in the chat for me. If green is buys, what is the red MACD? Cool. You guys are learning. Exactly. Sells. Awesome. It's really that easy. You just got to test it a little bit. You got to practice a little bit. Train your eye to really see this, and you can literally scan through charts and be like, nah, I don't need to take a trade right now. You know? Now, right here. So if buys only focus on green, if sells only focus on red, but you need it below. Because remember, this is a division between the buyers on the top side and the sellers on the bottom side. So if sells only focus on red below median. If you guys don't know what the median is, it's this black line right here. And it's at the 0, 0 marking right there. Now, where is it that this takes place? Let me go ahead and grab my blue vertical line right here. I'm gonna draw it right there. Okay, is my green on the top side? You know, let me mark this out so you guys can see it a little bit better. And then here, seller's side. Cool. Now, right here, is the green in the buyer side? No. Is the green in the buyer side right here? Let me zoom in just so you guys can see it. The answer is no. Is the green in the buyer side? Yes, it's on the top side. Now remember, guys, in between these two little snaps, which are connected to the 30-minute candles, the cross takes place. Because the cross happens right around there. I'm gonna move this to the back just so you guys can see it. So the cross happens right about there. Now remember, guys, the candle after the cross equals the confirmation. Cross happened right there in between. This is the next candle afterwards. What? It's after the cross. That's all we need. Super simple. Let's go ahead and take a zone out. Notice how the MACD lined up with our EMA. We had these two lining up. So usually you'll see them line up sequentially or the same time. Now, as far as this trade position, well, when is it that we enter the trade? Let me go ahead and take a picture of this so you guys can see it before I go ahead and delete this so I can make more space for myself. Screenshot it, do whatever you need to do. Take a picture of it. Cool, 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome. Moving on. Let's go ahead and reload. When you press the delete button, all you gotta do is just switch from one pair to the other and you'll see it. Now, just to kind of fast forward, confirmation's right there. Confirmation's right there. Take it right there, right there. Right there. Now, all of our confirmations lined up. So where is it that we take the trade? Well, these candles, if you guys haven't noticed already, they're not regular candles. When price is going up, it is blue. When price is going down, it is red. It clears out all the noise. These are actually called the Heikinashi candles. Heikinashi is Japanese for momentum. If you guys don't know, these candles are, if I'm not mistaken, they're Japanese made. This is like essentially a Japanese language here inside trading. Now, Heikinashi, momentum, Japanese for momentum. Now, where is it that we take the trade? Now, the place that we can go ahead and take the trade is going to be right before the close of the next candle. So all of our confirmations lined up. Now, before the next candle opens, literally at that 9-minute mark, right before it goes to 0-0, right before it goes to the next 30-minute, that's when we take the trade. Because as soon as the next candle opens, it could either take off, consolidate for a little, and then take off, whatever the case might be. So as far as this trade right here, we would end up entering roughly around this area. Now, just to kind of take a little bit, when you zoom in, and I stand corrected on myself. I'm sorry about that. I didn't feed you false information. The confirmations just could have lined up differently. So zooming in right here, it pinched it very well. Now, essentially, our confirmation would have lined up right here because green and fuchsia are on the top. Now, this could have lined up in either way. Blue is still above red. Now, when I saw this, all the confirmations lined up for me. They lined up very well. I liked how the way they looked, and I decided to take the trade. Now, as far as taking this trade, it would be right before the next candle opens. Now, I would essentially take it on that candle right there. Check box. I thought you have to have the candlesticks on the hour candlesticks. Personally, I like trading the 30-minute, and I'm very successful at it. Within the past 48 hours, I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 30-minute trades out of 5 trades. Out of 5 trades that were successful, 4 of them were 30-minute trades. Very quick in and out trades, especially with momentum. Now, with this trade right here, stop loss, so much isn't necessary. Keep an eye on the trade though. If your confirmations if you end up hitting a stop loss or you go negative for so long, I would really recommend using risk management, of course. Use a stop loss, but if you know, you know. Now, because the Sensei strategy is momentum, we're riding the wave, like I said. Now, we notice how we have, let me zoom in on the chart real quick. We have these Ichimoku clouds, the green and the red cloud. If you guys don't know the difference between the green and the red, or what the Ichimoku really is, it's essentially support and resistance. It tests these clouds. Now, right here, notice how this is a red cloud. Red is usually resistance. So that's what we have right here. That's why we have a wick right there, because it wants to test it. You know, you go back and you'll see how price likes to react towards these clouds, either acting as support or breaking it and then creating resistance, or resistance and then support. Well, that's what kind of happened right here. Notice how we had so much momentum going to the upside, literally 2 candlesticks that outpushed the previous movements, and it landed inside the red. It landed inside a resistance. So then we ended up breaking. Not only did we end up breaking, but we ended up retesting. You guys see that retest right here. Retest is essentially coming back. Are we entering at the price level provided, or just market? It's going to be a market execution. No buy stops, no sell stops, no limits, nothing like that. It's going to be a market execution. And then as far as your entry, so this was just a little side lesson that I taught you as far as the support resistance. Backtest it, you'll see it happen way too many times, and you'll catch so many entries just like this. Now, within entering this trade, notice how all of our confirmations lined up at this candle right here. Let me go ahead and grab a little circle so you guys can see it. That candle right there. Now, we're going to enter right at the end of that candle. So let's look at the time. Look at the bottom, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. This is AUD CAD. CAD opens at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard because that's New York session. So literally right before New York session open, I entered the trade. So if you notice Heikinashi, the candles, they don't go to the open and then the close and then open again and then close. Every time a new Heikinashi candle opens, it opens at the middle of the previous candle. Now, if you notice, you see the open at the middle of the previous candle. This candle right here, you see the open at the previous of the middle candle, but then it automatically just lines up to where price is at. Price doesn't change. Now, as far as our entry, all of our confirmations lined up right before New York session. We end up hopping in literally 729, 728, 727 right before the next candle opens, and we take this trade to the next TP. Now, there is multiple TPs that you can take, and I'm going to teach you something that helps me as far as making sure that I'm profitable no matter what. Now, as far as this trade that we took this morning, we ended up taking it to TP3, a quick 25 pips in about an hour. in about less than an hour, about 45 minutes. Now, it was cool. Like, I was just chilling. I was just cooling. I was doing my personal development. I looked at the charts. I placed a trade. I checked it 30 minutes later. I was like, yo, I'm in profit. It's kind of consolidating a little bit. Yo, TP hit like that. It was super cool. Everyone was hyped in the chats. Now, 23 pips just like that. 25 pips. I'm sorry. Now, as far as understanding where to take profit, there's a couple things that we can do. Now, we can either go to the next take profit level, but one thing I want you to take into consideration is that sometimes when price goes to a take profit, say for instance, we're right here. This is where price is at. Sometimes when it goes to a take profit, it can reject it a little. Sometimes it goes to the next take profit, it rejects it a little. Sometimes it goes to the next take profit, it rejects. You know, that can happen. Now, sometimes when you see that momentum, when you see that break, more than likely it's just going to keep going. And that's what happened here. You know, we hit take profit 1 in that area right there. We hit take profit 1 right here where this candle was, and then it came back down. It didn't retest so much, maybe on a smaller time frame. And then you had next candle, hit take profit 2. So much momentum. You see the Ichimoku cloud, you see the resistance. It's more than likely going to break it. Your confirmations lined up. There's a lot of momentum. All the signals are just firing in your brain, just like take the trade. Take the trade. Check the chat box. Personal development. I did say personal development. I like to read. I'm improving on my reading because I used to hate reading. But now I love reading. Now, right there. So we take the trade in that area. Hey, now we have, you know, something could happen. We could have easily, because when it comes to like breaking it and support resistance, you could have price break that resistance, but then literally just come back down and you get something called like a fake out. You can get that break of that resistance, retest support, continue going up. So it just depends. So if you wanted to take more advantage of this trade, understanding how the market structures really work, which I would really plug into the Go Live education or the academy, you could find that retest off the EMA and then off the Ichimoku cloud, and then you would be up some pips. You know, you would be in profit right now, about 15 pips, just a little quick 15 pip and dip. Something very, very simple. As far as stop loss, just to cover stop loss again, more than likely you wouldn't really need the stop loss for the sole purpose that we're catching momentum. Now, one thing that has helped me as far as kind of understanding where to place a stop loss, I would recommend to place it. Let me grab another one. So our entry line's right here. Take profit. Now, as far as the stop loss, depending on the momentum, if they're very pushy candles and you have some distance, then just place it below the next candle, somewhere around there, you know, at the low, or maybe somewhere around there. Look at your support resistance. Even if you have to go to trading view, look at your support resistance. See where you want to determine to place a stop loss. Look at market structure. That's why it's also good to understand that. Now, the reason is because Sensei being momentum catching, the likelihood of it hitting stop loss when your confirmations are all there and there's no news, it's just a good trade, then you have no problem. Now, just to kind of cover over some tips and tricks as far as understanding when's the best time to trade, what pairs to look at, what time frame, this is going to be the little tip and trick guideline right here. Now, if you guys are gaining value so far, throw some 5s in the chat. Let's get some 5s in the chat. Let's see if who's paying attention. We have 63 people deep in the call. Awesome. Okay, cool. Now, this is going to be some tips and tricks that are very, very important to understand what pairs to look at when. So, only trade pairs in session. Don't trade pairs out of session. Think about the opening of a market. I love this analogy. I want to give credit to myself because I really don't know where I heard it. But only trade pairs in session. Now think about the opening of the session being like, think about high school. Think about when we were in school and they had the lunch line. And as soon as the bell rang, everyone ran towards the lunch. Who wants to get lunch first? I want to get lunch first. So that's when everyone floods the cafeteria. At the open of the session, everyone floods the markets. People are buying, people are selling, people are buying shares, people are doing dividends, whatever the case might be. So the beginning of the session, there's a lot of volatility because everyone's just hopping in, wanting to get that trade. Now, also at the end of the session, with that cafeteria analogy, think about those kids that already went outside. Think about those kids that already had fun and then now they want to eat. Then you have that last rush of kids that are wanting to get food in the cafeteria. People, they hate you for doing that. So if you guys are still in high school, just get food first. You feel me? It's a little side lesson. I wouldn't like to feed children like that. Geez, that was 10 years ago. That was like 2 years ago for me. Just turned. I'll be turning 20 in December. So throw me some pips. But yes, so only trade pairs in session. Very, very important. Now, another note, just like I said before, the candle after the cross equals confirmation. That's also very important to remember. Another thing, so what does it mean when at the end of the 30 minutes or at the end of the hour? So what does it mean when a new candle opens? When a new candle opens, it's two things. It's either one, a new harmonic has appeared, or number two, confirmations or confirms previous, how would I say this? Trade, essentially. Basically, it confirms your trade. Now, when a new candle opens, a new harmonic scanner has appeared. So every 30 minutes, if you're on the 30-minute time frame, you could either have a new harmonic or it confirms your previous confirmations in a sense. Sounds redundant, but it is as it is. Hey bro, I don't know where I put my mouse. If you can find it for me, appreciate you, bro. We'll look for it later though, to be honest. Oh, facts. It was behind my computer. That's funny. Cool. So when a new candle opens, a new harmonic has appeared, or two, confirms previous trade. Now, that's another tip and trick that we have right there. Now, as far as, okay, this is the other thing. So take profits. Oh, my fault. Backtrack, take profits. It is okay to take the trade when, one, there is momentum and break of clouds. There is momentum and break of cloud, which is just the Ichimoku cloud, red or the green, depending if you're going up or down. Or two, 15 pips or more away from harmonic TP. That is a tip and trick right there. So it is okay to take the trade when there is momentum and or a break of cloud, and then you want at least 15 pips or more away from your harmonic TP to take that trade. 15 pips, because 15 pips is really all we need. 20 in cash and bags, that's awesome, bro. Oh, that's me. Okay, so when it comes to take profits, and I'll draw this out first. Now, let's check it. So let me grab these two lines. Grab that line right here. Let's make it red. And then let me go ahead and grab the second one. And let's make this one blue. Cool. Now, say we're at entry right here and we're buying. We enter, we go up 15 pips, stop loss, break even. So in profit 15 pips, we're moving on 15 pip increments. In profit 15 pips, stop loss, break even. Say it comes down a little bit, stop loss, ooh, it's gonna hit stop loss, whatever. All right, it goes up, another 15 pips. Now we're 30 pips in profit. What are we gonna do? Stop loss? Stop loss is now at 15 pips and we're in 30 pips in profit. So every time it goes up another 15 pips, we move our stop loss another 15 pips. If you have MetaTrader 4 on the computer, it's not for Apple, but it is for like Windows. You can actually have a trailing stop loss, which is really cool because I need to invest in a Windows or something so I can have a trailing stop loss, because you can have your stop loss set to 15 pips. So it will follow 15 pips in profit no matter what. Now, same thing like that. We're in profit 15 pips, stop loss break even. We're in profit 30 pips, stop loss at 15 pips. We're in profit 45 pips, stop loss at 30 pips. Check the chat box. Cool. Something simple like that. Now just to kind of write this down for you guys. So 15 pips in profit equals break even. 30 pips in profit equals 15 pip stop loss. 45 pip profit equals 30 stop loss. Very easy like that. Take a picture, and then we're gonna go over some of the trades that I took this week. And I'm gonna show you guys. I need that Windows MT4. I do too, bro. They need to have a trailing stop loss on the phone. Cool. Take a picture. We're all good. Drop some 7s in the chat if we're all good, and we can move on. I could show you guys some of the successful trades that I took earlier this morning and last night, or yesterday morning. Cool. Awesome. Hope you guys are learning some. And then also, let me get a little free advertisement real quick. If you guys got any value, feel free. Follow me on Instagram at h.aw.k. Right there at Hawk. Feel free. Shout me out on your stories, whatever the case might be. Follow me. I'll follow back. Message me if you guys have any questions. I'm always down to do these trainings. Now, just to kind of, let's go ahead and share this portion of my screen just so we can go over. Now, let's go ahead and exit out of that. Go ahead and exit out of that. Oh, that was full screen. This is a cool picture actually. Exit out of this. Now, I want you guys to take into consideration. What does that say? Euro AUD 1 hour stop loss hit. What does this say? Appreciate you, bro. What is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I'll show you before and after. So for AUD CAD, the pair we just went over, this is what it looked like before. This is what it looked like having all our confirmations. This is something I would take a screenshot of just so I can see what it looked like, to see how it played out. Because as time goes, the indicators, they just print out more information and they get a little bit either connected or separated, whatever the case might be. So this is what AUD CAD looked like this morning just before New York session. Now, this is what AUD CAD looked like when it hit take profit. I changed the color because that's what literally this morning is when I realized. I was like, yo, you can change the color. That's awesome. This is what it looked like after, you know, and I have the stop loss right below the previous candle, as well as just look at the indicators. Cool. That's that one. Yesterday, I took silver. I took silver trade right here. I had all my indicators lined up. Let's zoom in just so we can go over these indicators real quick. We see the cross of the EMA right there. You see how the cross kind of happens in between both candles, maybe a little bit before. This is when I wanted to have that confirmation set up. Right here, all the indicators are on the upside. We're on the buyer's territory. Blue is over red. The ADX line is above 20. The green MACD is on the upper portion. All my confirmations lined up. And I want them all to be in the same area, if not sequentially, one right after the other. And we ended up, if I'm not mistaken, this is 93 pips. If I'm not mistaken, please someone correct me. 93 pips. Just from where we were at to the next take profit level. Now, I could have held this trade, and I could have went up for more pips. But I just, real quick, in, out, super simple. I don't really have to stay in the market too long. It's almost like scalping. You can make a lot of money through scalping. Catch a lot of pips through scalping. That's silver. Take a picture of that. I'll actually be sending all of my trade ideas. I'll send them to Zakar. Or if you want them personally, just to kind of backtest, if you guys are not on Zakar Squad, message me on Telegram. And I will send you the entire list of all my take profits hit so that you can see and compare from that to yours. And you'll start to gain patterns if you start going for it and really want it. Back, cool. EuroCAD, right here. Another one, sell confirmation. Going over the indicators, this is a sell one, right here. Right here, blue crosses below the red EMA right there. All of them are now below into the seller's territory. Notice how the red kind of came up a little bit and then it fell. That was my confirmation. You see how eager and impulsive it was? That was my confirmation right there. Red is now over blue. The ADX line is above 20, confirmation. Red is now below into the seller's territory of the MACDs. Check the chat box real quick. Always document your trades. Because if you don't, then you'll never know. No, you won't even know why you're successful. Right here. This one, I'm not sure. Take profit. Let's see. 61 all the way down to 21. Quick 40 pips. Oh, I have it labeled actually at the top. 40 pip TP right there. Let's see. Euro NZD. Same thing. Blue crosses below red. All the indicators are on the bottom side. Red is above blue. ADX line is above 20. Red is on the lower side. This is Euro NZD. Euro is actually still, the London session is still open in the morning. 7 a.m. right here. Took the trade. After the confirmations got ready, we entered right at the exit the candle, took the TP, 38 pips in profit. No stop loss, probably above the red EMA or inside the Ichimoku cloud, whatever the case might be. Look at market structure, look at previous market structure. Could you go over the cloud importance one more time? Dog was barking. We'll be able to go over the recording, bro. Just feel free. I'll send out the recording literally everywhere. And Zakar will have it as well. GBP CAD, last one. Because what time is it? 57. Yeah, just about an hour, about 45 minutes, 55 minutes. Right here. Zoom in. What pair are we trading? GBP CAD. What time is it? 7 a.m. CAD opens 7:30 Mountain Standard. 8:30, wait, 9:30 Eastern. Wait, 7, 8, 9? Yes, 9:30 Eastern or 7:30 Pacific. Crossing. Notice how right here, blue EMA was actually below. And then right after, in between both of those candles, that's when it crossed. Candle after the cross is our confirmation. Extremely important. Right here, all of our indicators are in the buyer's territory. Blue is above red. ADX line is above 20. Green had just crossed into the buyer's territory. Hope that makes sense for everyone. Quick 29 pips and less than 30 minutes. It hit take profit before the 8:30 candle. 8 candle popped up. Could he enter the trade for a sell if the red MACD is over the green MACD? If all, so red over green inside the MACDs, it's unimportant. If it's buys, only focus on the green MACD. If it sells, only focus on the red MACD. Remember, there's two sides. Let me do this right there. So you have buyers, which is green area. Think about it as like a safe zone. You need the green to go in the buyer's territory so it's safe. And then right below, you need the red, or you need sellers, which is the red area. Right there. Oh. Just like that. Super, super simple. Now, that is pretty much what I wanted to cover today, guys. We have some really good trades popping out. I'm really excited to look forward. I'm really excited to look forward to see what kind of progress you guys are making with Sensei. You know, some of my veterans are on here, and these guys are making money. They don't even work a job anymore. They're set. They set up themselves, have a couple months paid their bills. All they got to do is trade. Guys, this strategy inside the launch process, if I got some builders on the call, teach your people Sensei. First 7 days, they'll see profit. They'll have a bigger belief system. Everything just starts rolling from there. It's a simple snowball effect. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you for hopping on. Throw some love for me. Throw some sevens in the chat real quick. Let me make sure you guys got some value. Make sure I understand everything was well, handy and dandy. I appreciate you guys for hopping on. We had like 70 people deep in the call. We had some people left. Appreciate you guys. Much love, honestly. Sensei the gang, you know the vibes, bro. Someone had raised their hand. Any last minute questions? I'll take 2 questions real quick. 2 questions. I'll make sure they're good questions. No questions? Just love, bro. Give you 30 seconds. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Benjamin. Houston, Louis. My Paso squad's in the building. Anthony. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. If there's no other questions, feel free to actually hop on those YouTube videos. Actually, let me send them one more time, or someone send them in the chat. If you were paying attention, send the videos in the chat. Send the 2 YouTube videos that I sent inside the chat for anyone who didn't have them before. Appreciate you, Dominique. Appreciate you, Paris, for paying attention. Awesome. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you for hopping on. Let's crush it, guys. Also, one more thing. Don't trade U.S. pairs on Friday. It's 4th of July. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Appreciate you guys for hopping on. Peace out, guys.